Situated in the extreme southwest of Nigeria, close to the border with the Benin Republic, Badagry was once a town of a million nightmares, a town of endless tears. It was from these shores that thousands of slaves were ferried across the beautiful Lagos lagoon, then over the sandbank that leads to the Atlantic Ocean. Their last glimpse of their homeland would be at the point of no return and the spirit well, where they were given sedation so that they boarded the waiting schooners without resistance. Most of the victims were sold to the Portuguese and ended their days in sugar and banana plantations in Brazil. Many died in captivity, on the beach or on the journey. This inhumane trade continued for 200 years until it was forcibly stopped by the British when they blockaded the port in 1840. After that, Badagry went into decline. All shipping ceased, and Lagos became the #1 port of Nigeria. The Bible says that they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. And that is exactly what happened in Badagry, when in 1842 the first slave returned. No longer a slave, but gloriously liberated. His name was Bernard Freeman, and he was the first Christian missionary to Nigeria. He built the first Christian church just a short distance from the holding cells for slaves. Last year, 172 years on, God put it into the hearts of the Liberty team to saturate Badagry with tangible evidence of his love for every man, woman and child.
Very impressed. I love the organisation. I can see that each person is playing a part, and as I've walked around I can see great conversations going on. I can see Jesus being shared with everybody everywhere I look. It's marvellous to be part of it.
For a whole year we have been praying, planning and preparing. We envisioned 2 new churches, many new believers and new pastors to care for them. The team was made up of pharmacists, surgeons, physicians, nurses, ophthalmologists, youth workers, counsellors and cooks. There were 450 of us from all parts of Nigeria and Great Britain. We worked mainly in 4 different venues: the town hall, where over 2,000 people were given free medical checks; the health centre, where 43 people were given the gift of sight through cataract surgery; a local hospital, where abdominal surgery was performed; and on the beach, where we erected 8 tents for preaching, counselling and business empowerment. We were privileged to see lives changing before our eyes. Here are some of them. Juliana, at 25, had been blind for 3 years. Both her parents had died, and she was unable to pay for surgery. We were able to operate free of charge. She is now able to see and is radiant for Jesus.
But at the end of the day, this morning when you open the eye, she sees clearly.
She has a beautiful voice. Here she is giving thanks to God. Godwin was just one of the 43 other people who received free cataract surgery. And here is Dorcas, dancing for joy now that she can see again. Timothy has been blind for 3 years and has to be led by his younger brother, Femi. He was about to commit suicide when he heard about us on the radio. Both brothers have surrendered their lives to Christ. His eye condition is complicated, but we are committed to supporting him until he too can see again. Philip was severely disabled when as a 3-year-old he was hit by a car. 2 men carried him in. He could not walk or stand. After prayer, he could do both. It's just one of the many miracles we witnessed. This is Mary. The day she heard about us on the radio was the day she had decided to live in a brothel. She was destitute and could see no other way out. She had a history of heartache and failed relationships. Her 10-year-old daughter was taken from her as she could not pay for school fees. She heard about the saving love of Jesus, and with tears streaming down her face, she confessed her sin and invited him into her heart. She was counseled and set free. 2 hours later, we found her at the business empowerment tents. She took notes at all 6 venues. We gave her $30 to set up in business. Today, she is a vibrant member of the church, and her daughter is now back with her. To sum up, around 2,500 people attended our event. 2,299 received free medical or eye checks. 43 people received cataract surgery. 7 minor ops have been performed, including the removal of a fibroid that weighed 5 kilos. We are committed to operate on 12 more people in the Bambi Hospital, Ibadan. 170 cervical smears were taken. 31 women were subsequently treated. Several kilos of medicines were distributed. At the business empowerment stands, we had daily seminars and demonstrations to enable people to be self-sufficient. We offered 6 different options, including dressmaking, soap and bead making, how to make meat pies and bake bread. Then there was car diagnostics for aspiring motor mechanics, and event planning and decoration of the venues. In addition, there were lectures on how to set up in business. Altogether, we counselled 1,878 people individually for salvation, healing and personal needs. 50 people were baptized. Over 100 more people received Christ during streets evangelism and during our 2 prison visits. Everyone received free food, and at the football tournament, the winning youths were awarded football kits. Talk of the town was that no offering was taken. 2 new churches have been planted, and we continue to pray for and support these new brothers and sisters. Will you join us as we continue to care for them and their pastors, David and Emmanuel? For the entire team, it was a week of wonders and miracles. We experienced such a mighty move of God that continues to make our hearts to sing. The town of tears, torment and slavery has become a town turned around, a town of joy and freedom. Slavery is vanquished. Liberty has come to stay. The work is ongoing. Many of these new converts still need financial help, like Timothy, who needs a corneal transplant costing £1,200. We are already planning our next outreach. Each event costs a minimum of £40,000. We are grateful to all our supporters. Thank you. Maybe you would like to join them. Will you give? Will you come? Will you pray? To find out how you can help, visit our website address